Hi there, how's it going? This is Cross the Rubicon channel. Well, it's been a beautiful day here today in Canterbury. A day of protest in Christchurch and up and down the country, where Groundswell had their say. Groundswell is a protest movement started by the farmers of New Zealand. And let's face it, the farmers in New Zealand have got plenty to complain about what the government is doing to them and the agricultural industry of New Zealand, which is the backbone of this nation. New Zealand is roughly 10 or 15% bigger than the UK. It's got the population of Birmingham and Manchester together. That's all. So there's plenty of space here. From what I've read, New Zealand produces enough food for 40 million people per year. And Jacinda Ardern is attacking the industry. She wants to destroy it. And the farmers, well, they are now the victims of the government with this new fat tax, ute tax as well. Now, a ute is basically, in the UK, is a four-wheel drive basically, and I know we don't use these kind of terms in the UK, but they're needed. And now diesel in New Zealand at the pump is more expensive than petrol, would you believe? Not only that, in New Zealand, but with diesels you have to pay road user charges as well. I'm not sure how it works exactly because I've never had a diesel car in New Zealand, but you've got to pay extra money per 1000k or whatever. So now basically it costs you a bloody well fortune to have a diesel car. So in New Zealand they're trying to phase diesel out, and that obviously affects the farmers, affects the haulage companies, i.e. trucks, because trucks don't run on petrol, tractors don't run on petrol, big diggers don't run on petrol. So it affects industry. Jacinda, the tyrannical dictator of the South Pacific, they're my words, I believe, wants to be the first, and she is going to be the first, to destroy this great little nation of New Zealand. She wants to smash it. She wants to take the kudos for it from Klaus Schwab and Bono and Bill Gates and all these Hollywood superstars, and how fantastic she is for smashing this great little nation. Let's face it, when she does smash this little nation of New Zealand, this tiny little nation of population of Birmingham and Manchester together, not even that, she's going to get rewarded. And I think she'll be rewarded to the tune of maybe tens of millions or even hundreds of millions. But I guarantee you this, once she leaves office, she won't be living in New Zealand, because wherever she goes, and especially when she comes to Christchurch, the people turn up in their hundreds to protest. I've been there myself. I've been privy to this. I've been there to about three protests when she's turned up. Some parts of the world, some mainstream media of the world, like the BBC, CNN, these talk show hosts in the United States, they want the world to believe that Jacinda Ardern is doing a marvellous job in New Zealand. She is celebrated in New Zealand and everybody loves her. That's what they say. in the mainstream media around the world, where in reality Jacinda really isn't that popular. In fact, I would say, and I'm going to use a very strong word here, so be warned, I would say Jacinda is hated. And I'm not saying that lightly. I would say Jacinda Ardern is hated by a large proportion of New Zealand. I'm not going to say majority, but a very large minority. She won't be able to stay in this country because she will never ever be able to walk anywhere free. She'll never be able to go to the shop for a loaf of bread, or take a daughter to school. Daughter, who knows? Corrupt as buggery. That's what it is. She's not the only one, as you've heard me say before. Many are, nearly all are. And again, they've been corrupted by the WEF, Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, George Soros. Everyone that goes to Davos, every single person that goes to Davos. No millionaires go to Davos, they're all billionaires. When you become a billionaire, you get a seat at the table. When you become a multi-billionaire, well, you might even get to speak and listen to. It's a funny old world we live in. I wasn't there at the protest today in Christchurch because I had something else on and personal reasons. But I support it all the same. And I support the people that went there. Got great sympathy for the farmers. I mean, hell, look where I'm staying. I'm in a farming community here. I'm surrounded by farmers. New Zealand is farming. It's beef farming. It's dairy. It's sheep. It's agriculture. It's got so much space here. What we haven't got is good governance. What we haven't got is decent politicians with integrity, honesty. We've got none of it. What we haven't got is a free press. What we haven't got is decent journalists that are going to ask Jacinda the hard questions. Some make pretense of it, but she only allows the questions that she, well, allows. Nobody, not one single journalist, has a real crack at Jacinda, because that's the end of their career. New Zealand is moving in to a dictatorship, a real tyranny. Many people in New Zealand refuse to see it because they still trust the media. They really do trust everything they read in the Christchurch press. The Wellington Dominion Post, I think it is. The New Zealand Herald, which is the Auckland paper, but it's countrywide. RNZ, Radio New Zealand. News Hub stuff. They believe everything they read, and they won't listen to people like me. They won't listen to any kind of alternative news. They think we're all conspiracy theorists. They really do. And that's a problem. It's a real problem, because it's very difficult to get the message across. And Jacinda is clamping down, and she uses the police. Well, to make visits to people like me. Others have been treated much worse than me, believe it or not. Many others. And they are quite a few steps further up that chain of how can we say, police raids than what I am. So, I'm not sure where I am down the list, but I'm somewhere between 1 and 10. But there's a few above me. But I do what I do, and I try to inform the best I can. And this is what I do. What I'd like to say to people in America and Canada, Australia, the UK, France, Holland, wherever you are, share my videos and tell the people what is happening in New Zealand, because New Zealand is being screwed over big time by this tin pot tyrant that takes orders from Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg and fuck knows who else. But these people she's taking orders from are psychopaths, absolute psychopaths, who have bought not only governments, but opposition parties and the media of all nations. It's a very, very powerful machine we're up against. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. You got to keep yourself sane. I've been through my trials and tribulations over all this. I really have, as you know. And I still struggle sometimes. This hat, by the way, I'll leave the details below. But you can buy one from a good mate of mine. And well, what it says means exactly what it is. If you haven't got the, like I haven't, and the man who sells them hasn't. Being lied to on a monumental scale. I'm not sure the protests in Christchurch would have done any good today, but good on them for doing what they did. 500 to 600 people. Considering, I think it was roughly this time last year, they were getting 10,000 in Christchurch. Didn't even make the media. Mainstream media ignored it, as they do. That's what they did. So the people at home, sitting at home, who didn't drive into town that day, they don't even know about it. That's how screwed up the media is. That's what happens when a tyrannical dictator buys the media with your taxpayers' money to lie to the mostly stupid and willingly blind and ignorant that sit at home and just watch TV1 and TV3 news. 6 o'clock every evening. Mike McRoberts, and honestly, I know Mike McRoberts and fuck knows who else. But people like, what's his name? Paddy Gower, his name is. I call him Paddy Golden Shower. He must be the... Okay. I won't lower myself to take the piss out of his features. But he's not the brightest. New Zealand is very short on journalists. Very short on a lot of things. And to succeed in New Zealand, in any way possible, in any kind of government department, because let's face it, the media now is a government department in New Zealand. They are literally a government department, the media. Just like the police, or corrections, or the military. That's the media. If the police turned up here now, with guns, and they decided to shoot me dead, I can guarantee you, the media will print whatever the police told them to print. And they'd make up all kinds of stories. Across the Rubicon was carrying a, well, I've got a selfie stick, obviously. I've got a phone, but he was believed to be carrying a weapon, and we shot him dead. And the media would say, yep, that'll do, and they'll print it. Just got my leg over again. Offence. They will print anything. They'd ask no questions. There is no investigative journalism in New Zealand. Very dark times in New Zealand. It's been a beautiful day today, but I'm wearing this jacket because it's bloody cold here now. We're still in the springtime. New Zealand is lost. We are lost. We need help. I honestly don't believe voting is going to change anything, especially the parties that are there right now. National Act, they say a lot, but they're going to be exactly the same. David Seymour and Christopher Luxon of the National Party looks like he's going to be the next Prime Minister. Listen, the things he said are as bad as, or even worse than what Jacinda said. You've got Winston Peters of New Zealand First making noises now. And he's saying things like he always says things that resonate, because he's a very good politician. But he's an opportunist. He's knocking on a bit now, Winston. I don't even know why he's even bothering. But anyway, it was Winston Peters that gave us Jacinda Ardern. It was him that put her in power. I'd like to hear him say sorry. Just apologise for what you did, Winston. That'd be nice. That'd be a start. Apologise for what you did, and then show some contrition of what you did, and then maybe I'd consider voting for you. And so would many more. But when you don't, what you say now is just words. Like they've always been, just words. But like Klaus Schwab has said many times, I'll just turn the camera around. I have infiltrated all the cabinets of all the governments of all the world. Okay, not sure if that's Arnold Schwarzenegger or Klaus Schwab, however. And I have corrupted them all. He didn't say that, but that's what he's meaning. Everyone is corrupted. We will put in power whoever we want. That's what he's meaning. He holds all the cards. A revolution is needed. It's got to be a revolution from the ground up. Not from the politicians, the opposition politicians that, well, who are there now, because it's not going to happen, because they're bought and paid for. All around the world, not just here in New Zealand, little old New Zealand at the bottom of the world. Okay, this is Cross the Rubicon, and farewell, should I say farewell, fair play to Groundswell today. The farmers' protest movement in New Zealand. Fair play to them for getting out, and fair play for them who went down there and supported them. But like I said, I promoted it yesterday. Didn't give it much, but I did. And didn't get there myself for personal reasons. And who knows what's going to happen in the future. But Jacinda's, at some stage, she's going to make a decision to take out, I believe, the top 10 dissidents in this country, and to arrest us, to put us in jail, who knows. She's going to shut us down, hate speech laws or whatever, use whatever she can for using our freedom of speech, because what she doesn't like is our freedom of speech, because we're criticising her, deservedly. But criticising her or her policies or what's happening in New Zealand, what's unique to New Zealand, three waters, hey poor, whatever. That's fast becoming hate speech. And it's a crazy world. And this country, New Zealand, is looking pretty shit at the moment. I got a visitor. My little friend came over to visit me, look, the other one behind her. Licorice, this one's called. Hello. Not sure the other one. I love animals, don't you? Hey, starting to eat my jacket. Right, okay, this is Cross the Rubicon. Please like, leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel. Share my videos everywhere. And if you're in the UK and you're a YouTuber, give me a ring. Make contact and we'll do a live stream or whatever. And I'll give you an idea of what's happening in New Zealand. Okay, see you later.